Namaste, Kushro Bitia, myself JV and Dr. Kushbu Verma from Faculty of Agriculture and Veterinary Science. Today we are going to discuss about gene libraries. This session is related to recombinant DNA technology course of program BTech FBT 4SEM. So first of all, you have to know that what is gene library. So in human, approximately 25,000 genes exist among the 3 billion base pairs of DNA in the genome. To study any one of these genes, a researcher first isolates it from all of the other genes in an organism DNA. One isolation method has a relatively long history and involves the construction of a gene or DNA library. When a gene is identified and copied, it is said to have been cloned. What is genomic library? A genomic library is a collection of bacteria which have been genetically engineered to hold the entire DNA of an organism. A genomic library is a collection of genes or DNA sequences created using molecular cloning. These libraries are constructed using clones of bacteria or yeast that contain vectors into which fragments of partially digested DNA have been inserted. These bacteria and yeast are subsequently grown in the culture. And when these microorganisms replicate their genome, they also replicate the vector genome contained within them, that is, they replicate. DNA fragments that had been inserted into vectors producing clone of original genome. So as we have discussed in our previous lectures that vectors are basically involved in the cloning of target sequences or gene of interest. We can introduce the gene of interest into the vector basically in the multiple cloning site region by digesting them with the restriction endonuclease enzyme, and further we can ligate the gene of interest into the vector by ligase enzyme. That's how we can prepare the recombinant vector, and then further we can multiply that recombinant vector, and that's how we can get the number of target sequence or number of gene of interest in a huge amount. So, this collection of clones, in theory, contains all sequences found in the original source, including sequence of the insert, as we have already told you. And genomic libraries can be constructed using various hosts like plasmid, bacteriophage lambdas, cosmid, yak, and many more. So all these are the artificial bacteria, artificial vectors, and basically they are very much important to clone the gene of interest, and further we can multiply these gene of interest by inserting these vectors into the host. For example, if we are using the PBR322, so we can insert our gene of interest into the PBR32 MCS region, and further we can introduce it into the E. coli cells, and further when E. coli cell will multiply, so along with that, that recombinant plasmid will also multiply. So that's how we can get number of bacterial cells or number of recombinant cells having the recombinant PBR32 322 plasmid vector. So because of that we can get the various number of gene of interest. So that's how we can get multiple clones of the gene of interest, and all these vectors like BAC, yak, cosmid, bacteriophage lambdas, and PBR322 puck vector, all these vectors are very much important in the molecular cloning or for the construction of the genomic libraries. So for more understanding, we can share the diagrammatically representation. Here I am sharing the diagram by which you can understand more. This is the human DNA. First of all, we will cleave with the restriction endonuclease enzyme. So now we have get the millions of the genomic DNA fragments of particular gene length. Okay, then further these DNA fragments, especially first of all, we will select the gene of interest because this is the complete human genome DNA. We will restriction digested with the restriction enzymes, and further then we will choose the gene of interest. We will introduce it with the vectors, and we will insert the DNA fragments or gene of interest insert into the plasmid by using the first of all restriction digestion enzyme, and then we will seal it by the DNA ligase enzyme. So that's how we can get the recombinant vectors. So you have to know that term of recombinant vector means when vector is not having any kind of a gene of interest, so it's normally vector. But whenever it is having the gene of interest, it has been introduced into the vector. After all, the final product which is having vector along with the gene of interest is known as recombinant vector. Now these recombinant vector, we will introduce or we will transform these recombinant vectors into the bacterial cells. These bacterial cells, further we will inoculate these bacterial cells which is having recombinant vector into the uh, required media, nutrient media, and then we will wait for the proper optimum growth of recombinant cells. And then after a particular period at optimum temperature, we will get number of colonies in the broth or in the agar media. We will get so much colonies which are having these recombinant vectors. So that's how we can multiply, because here it was only one or two gene of interest, but now we are getting a proper library of genomes or particular gene of interest. We are having a proper library, and this collection is known as genomic library. So again, is the question one of one is the most important question is what is DNA library? So DNA library is a collection of clones of DNA digested or designed so that there is a high probability of finding any particular piece of the source DNA in the collection. What are the types of DNA libraries? So two types of DNA libraries are, first one is the genomic library, second one is the cDNA library. So what is the basic difference in between genomic library and cDNA library? Genomic library contains only DNA fragments representing entire genome of an organism. On the other hand, cDNA library contain only complementary DNA molecules synthesized from messenger RNA molecules in a cell. So first of all, you have to be clear about the terminology of cDNA. What is the cDNA? Complementary DNA is basically synthesized from the RNA. So it's kind of a reversible reverse transcription process where RNA produce the DNA. But this DNA is different from the normal DNA. That's why it is called cDNA, because it is having only coding regions. No, they are like lacking of non-coding regions, because it has been synthesized from the messenger RNA or RNA molecules, and RNA molecules are not having any kind of a non-coding regions. But on the other hand, normal DNA is having non-coding region and coding regions both. So that is the basic difference in between normal DNA and cDNA. And cDNA has been synthesized in the reverse transcription process by reverse transcriptase enzyme, and the substrate is RNA. On the other hand, DNA can be synthesized only from normal DNA can be synthesized only from the DNA molecule by the replication process. Second difference, normal DNA will have coding and non-coding region both. On the other hand, cDNA will have only coding regions. So this is the basic difference in between DNA and cDNA. And that's why there are two categories of the DNA libraries. First one is the genomic library and second one is the cDNA library. So again, we can understand this difference by the diagrammatic representation. In the genomic library, this is the cell which is having DNA. So first of all, we will isolate the DNA, then we will digest it by the restriction enzymes, and we will get the small fragments of the DNA. Now we will select the gene of interest, and then we will ligate it with the vector by using restriction enzyme and DNA ligase enzyme. After all the process, we will get the recombinant vectors. Then we will introduce or we can transform into bacterial cells. We can select the E. coli cell, which is most commonly used bacterial cell in the molecular cloning methods, and strain is also very important. So generally people use the DH5 alpha competent cells for the cloning method, and these are the vectors which have been used for the cloning method or recombinant for making the genomic library. On the other hand, in the cDNA library, first of all we will get the messenger RNA, we will isolate the RNA from the cell, then we will do the reverse transcription process, we will synthesize the cDNA molecule, then first of all, we will ligate the linker molecule at the cDNA ends, and then we will go for the restriction enzyme digestion for creating the sticky ends. Now we are having the processed cDNA fragments, small fragment molecules, which are having the restricted digested linker side molecules, and then we will get the vectors and we will introduce or we will ligate the cDNA molecules into the vector, and we will get the restriction these recombinant vector. Further it will be transformed into the bacteria and then we can multiply. So here we are getting the genomic library which is having the DNA molecule in the a large number. But on the other hand, in the cDNA library, we are having only cDNA molecule in the large number. So this is a basic difference about the final product which we are storing. So that is the difference in between genomic library and the cDNA library. Again, if we are categorize the differences in between genomic library and the cDNA library, so from in the genomic library, it can be prepared by the genomic DNA. In cDNA library, it can be cDNA can be synthesized by the reverse transcription process of the messenger RNA. Second difference, in the genomic library, frequency of the hits independent of the gene expression levels. On the other hand, in the cDNA library, it is dependent. In genomic library, it may contain promoters and intron regions both. In cDNA library, no promoters, no introns will be present, means non-coding regions will not be present in the cDNA libraries. And in genomic libraries, it cannot express in heterologous system. On the other hand, in cDNA library, expression is feasible if linked to a suitable promoter. In genomic libraries, it is useful for genomic analysis, basically map-based cloning, promoter studies, etc. On the other hand, in cDNA library, it is useful for the analysis of coding regions only, because in the cDNA library, we will have only coding regions. So that's why it is useful for the analysis of the coding region and gene functions. Now, which kind of a vector we can use for the DNA library synthesis? So first of all, we have to keep in our mind that we have to use a vector which is having more capacity for getting uh, gene of interest a proper length. So for the genomic library, we can use the lambda phase, cosmate vector, pack, back, and yak vector. Lambda phase can inoculate 9 to 23 kilo base pair of the gene of interest. Basically, it is very convenient and easy to handle. Second option is cosmate, which can hold the 30 to 45 kilo base pair gene of interest. And pack, back, and yak vectors, these all three are artificial chromosome vectors and they can accommodate the very large number of the fragments. So all these three vectors can be used for the construction of the genomic library. In for the cDNA library, we can use again lambda phase, and basically it provides selection for longer cDNA molecules. Second option is conventional plasmids, so we can use it for the cDNA library synthesis, and it is basically high level, it is basically used for the high level of the expression of the proteins. So all these vectors are very much important for the synthesis of genomic and cDNA library. So now this is a sum up of this session, and if we go for the important questions related to the competitive exams, so first of all, basic difference is what is genomic library and what is the cDNA library. Second question is what is the basic difference in between cDNA library and genomic library. um, Examiner can ask the simple terminology questions like what is the recombinant vector, what is the transformation method, and what is the restriction digestion enzyme, and which enzyme can be used for the ligation of the vector and gene of the interest. Next one is the like and give the example like cosmid vector can be used for the genomic library synthesis or cDNA library synthesis. PAC, BAC, and YAC vector can be used for the genomic library or cDNA library. So you have to give the answer on the basis of your concept. And second important question can be asked like what is the basic difference in between cDNA library and the genomic library, like in the genomic like promoter and intron season will be present in the genomic library or not, or cDNA library or not. And second one is like basically for the genomic analysis or map based cloning or for the promoter studies, which library is more useful, genomic library or cDNA library. So these are the basic difference. These are the important questions which can be asked. And one more thing, in the subjective questions it can be asked like explain the genomic library construction in a flow diagram, explain the difference in between the cDNA library and genomic library construction by the flow diagram. One more thing, question can be asked that what is the genomic library. So you have to give answer that genomic library is a collection of the bacteria which have been genetically engineered to hold the entire DNA of the organism. One more thing, what is the term is cloned. So you have to give answer that when a gene is identified and copied, it is said to have been cloned. And one more thing, in humans approximately 25,000 genes exist among the 3 billion base pairs of the DNA in the genome. So all these points are very much important. And one more thing, what is the full form of PAC, what is the full form of BAC, and what is the full form of YAC. And one more thing, cosmic vector is having holding, what is the holding capacity of gene of interest in the cosmic vector, what is the holding capacity of the gene of interest in lambda phase, and why lambda phase is used for the genomic library construction as well as for the cDNA library synthesis, and why we use PAN, BAC, and YAC vector for the genomic library synthesis, and what are the conventional plasmids and why we use these conventional plasmids for the cDNA library synthesis. So all these points, all these factors are very much important. And one more thing, how you will synthesize a recombinant vector, and what is the use of linkers for cDNA library synthesis. So basically linkers are the small stretches, and they can bind to the end of the gene of interest, and further after the binding we can use it as a sticker. So first of all, before introducing that gene of interest along with linkers into the vector, we do the restriction digestion by the restriction enzymes. So these linker molecules will create the sticky ends. It will very helpful for the ligation process into the plasmid vector. After the creating sticky ends of the gene of interest along with the linker, it will introduce and to the recombinant vector. In the recombinant vector as well as we will do the restriction digestion process by the same restriction digestion enzyme, and they will also create the sticky ends, complementary sticky ends. Now we will use these gene of interest along with the sticky linkers and recombinant vector, digested recombinant vector. We will go for the ligation process. We will use the DNA ligase enzyme, and then we will use it basically for the inoculation. And then these uh, gene of interest will introduce and will ligate easily with the recombinant vector because both are having sticky ends. So This is the sum up of this session, and this session is powered by Digital Version 2.0 Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University Jaipur. If you have any query, then mention in the comment box. I will resolve it. Thank you.